Let's see. It's July 1st. The seductive character. Penetrating hearts and minds. This is a long one. Most of us have known the power of having someone fall in love with us. Our actions, gestures, the things we say, all have positive effects on this person. We may not completely understand what we have done right, but this feeling of power is intoxicating. It gives us confidence, which makes us more seductive. We may also experience this in our social or work setting. One day we are in an elevated mood and people seem more responsive, more charmed by us. These moments of power are fleeting. They resonate in the memory with great intensity. We want, we want, we want them back. Nobody likes to feel awkward or unable to reach people. The siren call of seduction is irresistible because power is irresistible, and nothing will bring you more power in the modern world than the ability to seduce. Repressing the desire to seduce is a kind of hysterical reaction. Revealing your deep down fascination with the process, you are only making your desire stronger. Someday they will come to the surface. To have such powers does not require a total transformation in your character or a kind of physical improvement in your looks. Seduction is a game of psychology, not beauty, and it is within the grasp of any person to become a master at the game. The month of July will arm you with the weapons of charm so that those around you will slowly lose their ability to resist without knowing how or why it has happened. It is an art of war for delicate times. I want to take you away from the thinking of seduction as just the sort of thing that men do to women or women do to men. It's something that permeates our culture. It's in advertising, it's in marketing, it's on the internet, it's in politics. It's slightly different in each case. Of course, a sexual seduction is not exactly the same as a politician seducing the American public or an influencer seducing their followers, but the dynamics, the casting of the spell, the enchantment, the process is similar. I tell people it's like when you're watching a movie and you feel like the movie is casting a spell on you. It's drawing you into the story. It's having an emotional impact on you. It's taking you out of your life, out of your banal day-to-day work, and on a ride of enchantment. By the end of the movie, you're moved to tears or laughter or whatever it is. This is a form of seduction. Your psychology has been penetrated by the director, the writer, the actors, and the actresses. People are dying for more of this kind of seduction in their lives. They want some enchantment. They want some drama. They want some pleasure. They want to be taken on a ride, an adventure. It's a desire cemented in childhood. Seduction is like reaching the child in a person. When you were a child, what was the greatest pleasure? It was being picked up by your father, your mother, and being whirled around and taken through the air and twisted and turned. The sense that someone was taking you somewhere, that you were under their control. It made you laugh. It gave you this incredible joy. That's what's happening when you're watching that movie. It's taking you on this journey where you don't exactly know where you're going or what's happening. People don't have enough of that in their lives. It's an amazing power that you could have. It starts with the desire to be a seducer. You might be tempted to think, "Oh, I don't want to be a seducer. I'm not interested in seduction." Yes, you do. Yes, you are. Think of the walls that people normally have put up. You can't get through to your kids. You can't get through to your spouse, that employee, those coworkers. They're closed off to you. It makes you so frustrated. Now think of that time in your life now think of that time in your life where you sensed that you had power over another person, that someone was under your spell, that the things that you said excited them and interested them. There's electricity in your back and forth. It's amazing. It's powerful. You want more of that. You want to be able to seduce. You want to penetrate the walls people typically keep around their hearts and minds. That's the first thing you want. That's the first thing. You want seduction in your life. The next thing is you have a misconception about seduction. Most people do. It's not about figuring out these very cold, calculated strategies. There's got to be a naturalness to it. If you're someone that does too much calculation in the seduction process, this is what I'm going to do. Step A, then B, then C. It's not seductive. People can smell your coldness. We sense that the other person is trying too hard, that they've read the art of seduction and that they're applying the 24 strategies. It doesn't work. You must bring out natural qualities that you have, and I maintain that every person has natural qualities that make him or her authentically seductive. It's in you, it's latent, it wants to come out, and that's what will make you an interesting and good seducer. That, and adopting the seducer's approach to life. It's all a game and an arena for play. Know that the moralists, the crabbed, repressed types who croak about the evils of the seducer secretly envy their power. They do not concern themselves with other people's opinions. They do not deal in moral judgments. Nothing could be less seductive. Everything is pliant, fluid, like life itself. Seduction is a form of deception, but people want to be led astray. They yearn to be seduced. Get rid of any moralizing tendencies. Adopt the seducer's playful psychology, and you will find that the rest of the process is easy and natural. That's the intro. July 1st. Look at the world through the eyes of a seducer. You have seductive power. To have seductive power does not require a total transformation in your character or any kind of physical improvement in your looks. Seduction is a game of psychology, not beauty, and is within the grasp of any person to become the master at the game. All that is required is that you look at the world differently through the eyes of a seducer. The seducer sees all of life as theater, everyone an actor. Most people feel that they have constricted roles in life, which makes them unhappy. Seducers, on the other hand, can be anyone and can assume many roles. Seducers have pleasure in performing and are not weighed down by their identity or by some need to be themselves or to be natural. This freedom of theirs, this fluidity in body and spirit is what makes them attractive. What people lack in life is not more reality, but illusion, fantasy, play. The clothes that seducers wear, the places they take you to, their words, their actions are slightly heightened, not overly theatrical, but with a delightful edge of unreality, as if the two of you were living out of a piece of fiction or were characters in a film. Daily law. Seduction is a kind of theater in real life, the meeting of illusion and reality. That's from the preface of The Art of Seduction. Yup. That's a great book. All right. The Seducer, huh? Okay, make our way safely. Let's have a drink. Start out the ride. Oh, it's nice and cold. All right. Give me that. Okay. Off we go. Yup. Seduction, huh? Well, what else is going on in the world? I don't know. It's funny, I was watching the latest episode of Joe Rogan with my woman. And when I saw who it was at first, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be entertaining, but whatever. Because it was Tommy Lee. Like, I already know the drama of this guy's life, but like, what's going to come out of this conversation that could be entertaining? But that conversation was absolutely fantastic. I've never been more wrong. His whole energy was so pleasant. He seems like a very cool guy. He's lived a heck of a life. I guess that's a good example of seduction right there. At first, I was like, I don't know. Like, what the heck did this guy have to say that I'm going to be interested in? And he looks pretty great. I think he said he's 58. I think. Or I could be wrong. Might be younger than that. But he looks great. And even he said during the interview, he's like, I shouldn't even be here. It's like, all the things that I've done, I should be dead. Pretty wild. Yeah, it's funny when it comes to that whole topic of seduction. Um, Even the words, it's like people who are seductive, people tend to find captivating. And it's interesting that the root word of captivating is captive, like like you've been captured, like a prisoner. And to be under someone's spell is pretty much that you've been captured by them. Even all the words like surrounding the topic is like, it's interesting. Like you're caught in a spell. Still waking up. I think really the only reason, like, because people said like a lot of the things that like about the current president, I don't even like saying his name, was like he has a lot of these qualities when it comes to like seduce. Because I'm even mentioned in those pages, like, politicians use this and all kinds of people, different people use this type of tactics or play up these qualities. And I've heard people talk about him, like, especially in person. Like everybody says, these presidents have, like Bill Clinton was supposedly very engaging in person. And they just have this quality about them that draws you in. But I think really when it came to the current presidents, like more, if you juxtapose them next to who they were running against, it's like, well, I mean, that was kind of part of it. It was either this person or that person. And like, that person's very, no. So that made this one even more, that much more appealing. It wasn't so much them. It was who they were running against that made them appealing. I guess that's part of it too. It's not so much that you have to stand out. It's that, especially if you're standing next to someone whose qualities are diametrically opposed to yours, it makes you look that much better, or that much more appealing. Tired. I get plenty of sleep. I don't know why I'm so tired. It's pretty cool. I'm looking at my mirrors and everybody in front of me. I probably have at least a couple hundred yards, good 3, maybe 400 yards in front of me and behind me where there's absolutely nobody. So it feels like I have the freeway completely to myself. Like it. And now here comes somebody behind me. He must be going really fast, because here he comes. See, I'm a courteous driver, so I got out of his way. I moved over so he can blow past me. There he goes. What does it say? Right 2 lanes closed at Sepulveda Boulevard. What? It's not even like an exit. Or maybe off of the 118 there's a Sepulveda. Maybe that's what that means. Because there's like a split right now where the 405 and then there's the 118. But I'm not going to touch Sepulveda, I don't think. Off the 405. That's weird. That's a heads up for the 118 drivers. No, thank you. It's funny watching that interview with Rogan and Tommy Lee. Because Tommy Lee's like a real, like you could tell like there's part of his mind that's like still stuck in the 80s. Like he still uses like words like rad and like stuff like that. And Rogan never uses words like that. But you could see like part of Tommy's energy brought that out of Rogan. Because there was a couple times where Rogan's talking and he'd like use the same words. I'm like, that's funny. You never use that word. And they're probably right around the same age, but just, Joe doesn't really talk like that. And if you wanted to tie it into what I just read, that's kind of like Tommy's energy rubbing off on Joe. Like that's a bit of a mental seduction to the point where you're crafting your words and your speech around who it is you're talking with. Or it could be the other way around. It could be Joe doing that on purpose to make more of a intentional connection to elicit more conversation out of Tommy. That could go either way. But since Joe doesn't talk like that, that would be more of an intentional act if that was the case. But if Joe wasn't doing that on purpose and it just happened to happen, that would be more evidence of Tommy's seductive nature just by being who he is. But I thought that was very interesting because Joe never says the word rad or like awesome in the context of how he used it. I'm like, oh, that's funny. You're kind of talking like him. And he never does that. I thought that was interesting. And you wouldn't catch that if you didn't watch Joe Rogan as often as I do. You're gonna have to get back over. That lane ends. What this says. High winds. What? Right two lanes closed. I'm not going that way. High winds on 14. I'm not going that way either. Or that guy's probably going on the 14. Yep. Well, it's retarded Pride Month's over. That's a good thing. But now let's see what kind of drama might happen in this month, because it's the 250th anniversary of the country on the 4th. I'm pretty sure something will happen. To anybody that was paying attention back in the day, well, first, this is a very symbolic anniversary for the United States. First, I have to say that. And then what I was going to say, for anybody that was following or paying attention back when Q was a thing, that was one of the drops. They said symbolism will be their downfall. And what just popped in my mind is, if that's the case, and this is a very symbolic anniversary, and I wouldn't be surprised if something happened. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was something revolving around firearms. They're still really looking to put the clamp down on all firearm ownership. They really want to restrict the heck out of that in a way that's much more substantial than it currently is. This is just me with my tinfoil hat on. And they would love to be able to write that in a history book. On the 250th anniversary of America, there was a tragedy involving whatever. And who was it? Somebody was quoted as saying, like, America needs another, like, 9/11 type event. For them to remember who their friends are, or who the enemy really is, or something like that. I think it had something more to do connected to with, like, Israel, but and we have all these things coming up on the 4th. They do love their symbolism. So we'll see. That's my tinfoil speculation for the morning. Smells like a skunk out here. Something let loose. It's pretty wild how far that scent can carry. Hanging up behind you. Pass up you guys. This guy's hauling ass. Go. That's a crazy thing to say, though, out in the open. America needs another 9/11 like attack. What are you doing? Why would you? You know how bad that sounds? Especially in the context that they put it. In order for America to remember who the enemy really is, I think that's how they. But that's pretty much what they alluded to. In order for America to remember who their friends are and who their enemies are, we need someone to attack us. That's crazy. Like, and if that does happen, we're gonna look straight at you like, okay, what did you know that you weren't saying? It's like you telling somebody, somebody really needs to beat your ass, and then someone does. They're gonna be like, what? Who? You were connected to that somehow. Alrighty. What does this say? 2 lanes closed. at Lake Hughes. I'm not going that far. Is my exit. I have arrived. Morning congestion. That's funny. Someone like they bedazzled the whole like area, like the whole door handle. It's all sparkly. That's funny. Obviously, it was a girl. A girl. Or a very fabulous man. That's hilarious. Right. I am here. Mm. Okay. Let's do something.